Check, radio check. Our work is in the AO. Buddy, welcome to the stream. You can join us today for another round of Sport Manager, the 2020 season. Plus another, and hopefully the last round of the 2024 season. Last time we managed to score some significant victories despite the terrible weather. We are now at a bit of a crossroads. See, 4 races left in the season, and we are currently on top of the standings for both the drivers and team championships. Now, here's the problem. Our HQ is nowhere near developed enough for all the parts that we need. So we're currently riding on a mostly spec parts racing series right now, thanks to some votes from some of the AI. Problem is, if we get promoted now, we have to deal with a series that only has one set of spec parts, which is rear wing. And, well, we don't have enough in terms of HQ buildings that can help us go through that. That's also going to eat into our resources. So, the plan is we are going to throw at least 2, probably 3 races here to try and avoid promotion. Now, that's going to be a bit tricky because we set a goal of finishing the season at 3rd or higher to avoid getting the chairman's ire. Which is a bit of an issue when you consider that we are currently 7 points, well, not 7 points ahead in the team standings. We're currently 23 points ahead in the team standings. Now we can choose to take Vosu out and use Okalova on the road instead. The main problem is I don't think that's going to be enough to drop our points within a safe radius, considering that the 2nd and 3rd in the race in the team standings are tied at 232 points each. Now remember, we still have 4 races to go. Lexi, Beijing, Rio de Janeiro, and Vancouver. Looks like it's going to be a really wet last 4 races, which is kind of a problem, considering how things are going right now. Now, if we can probably keep it at, we can probably concede some points here, or can, shall we say it? We can probably. Now, I don't think we can go for spec parts here, or at least for the next season, because if we do get a chance to be promoted, we're going to be running on terrible parts, and we don't have the budget yet to make the most out of those new upgrades. Now, I want as much as possible to be very prepared if I ever get promoted. So, as much as possible, we will try to lose at least 1 race before the season is over, so that will be dropped to 2nd. Then we can probably lose some of the tougher opponents for the next season. Although that's going to be replaced by one, the more experienced ones from the Asia Pacific Super Cup as soon as it's done. Well, for the time being, though, let's go to the Black Sea and start this over with. We'll have to see how it's going to go. Down around the state of affairs as we head up to the Black Sea. Archer is tipped to be performing strongly here. Seems to have a good chance of getting the race done. Bosu can still lose his points, very much so, and Esteva seems to be ready to snatch that up. He's currently 2nd. We're expected to finish 5th. Now, the problem is, even if we finish 5th in this run today, there is a good chance that either Vexala or Garuda will actually throw. I can feel it in my bones that they can do that. So, well, Esteva is just 10 points behind Bosu, and Vidal is 11 points behind. So either of them could actually get ahead here, at least as far as team standings are concerned, and we can probably let that slide. Now, if they affect our chances of scoring the driver standings, though, that's going to be a problem. Because if they get too many points, we're gonna lose we're gonna go below the third, and that is going to be the main issue. So as much as possible, we're gonna have to balance things out. Try to keep the lead small enough that while we concede it at least the last race of the season, throw at the worst case scenario and pray that things go good enough or go well enough that we don't drop below what the chairman wants us to do. Not exactly an easy thing to do, to be honest. We got 2 red zones. Next year's engine. And 2 trains for next year's front wing. Pretty much all got on the 9s. Gotta practice, see if we can actually survive this. We can probably throw the last 2 races of the season, or we can throw the next race and the race after that, then go push up in Toronto. We'll just have to see. So it's gonna mostly should be a bit more focused on acceleration, suspension, some more downforce since there's keep him at softs. Meanwhile, Bokova will be sticking a bit to mediums. Go and take practice, see how things go from here. We're running out simultaneously, soft and medium. Put it at a maximum. See how things go. Since it's practice, they can go all out. Maybe. I'm seriously not confident that we can avoid promotion this year, but I would really love to do that, just so I don't have to worry about dealing with extra parts when I don't have the money to produce them. And I don't have the mechanics that can handle most of the parts production and management just yet. Okay, handling feels awesome. That's positive to look at. Okay, our main issue now is to determine when we should start throwing and when we should keep it, or when we should go all out, just to avoid going below third. Hang on. I don't see anything there. Okay. Her arrow is feeling awesome right now, they say, but I don't think setup knowledge is going fast enough to reflect that. At least for Wasu. Vokalova we've expected Vokalova to go low and slow here. Now, setup race trim has been unlocked, but that's a bit slow. We're already at 8 minutes left in practice, and we just got to level 1. Well, Su's starting to break away, at least in the practice runs. Vokalova needs some stability in the corners, apparently. And now it's starting to rain. Excellent. Just excellent. Gonna have to switch to inters for this one. So she needs a bit more stiffness in handling so she can go through most of these corners more efficiently. So downforce is excellent, handling is okay, speed balance is great. So we need to be stiff in the handling department, apparently. So, yeah. Go switch her to inters because it's gonna be wet. Gonna bring in Vasu for this one, so he can switch over to inters as well. Let's see if Bukalova's gonna be able to push out here. Soft tire level 1. I don't think I've reached level 3 on tire knowledge in a while. I remember being able to do that when I first played this, but that was mostly because I was pushing the cars a little too far. I've never seen a car stall mid-race. Even when they're at 0 fuel and 0 tires, they usually keep rolling but at a really, really reduced rate. Those downforce and handling are already great. I just need to switch them up, I suppose, for inters. It's gonna dry out towards the last part of the practice, but I think that's okay. Nice job with the handling, it's much better. Race trim is now level 2. Well, it only got 4 minutes left in practice. I think we're good. Surprisingly, we're actually on top of the score of the timesheets, which is kind of scary, but which could be helpful in could be helpful in letting us job for at least one race, so that our points will go down a bit on team standings. Should have enough elbow room to keep Vosu on top of the box for the race for the individual racer standings, that is. That was quick. But nonetheless, it's good enough that we're running on inters right now. Handling is feeling superb, guys. Nice work. Alright. Well, Siri seems to be confident about this, so is Bukalova, but I don't think that's going to translate in the actual race, especially when we have to worry about our pit crew, which so far has been awful. Intermediate's level 1. Ooh, setup knowledge for race trim is almost done. We've still got a minute to go, though, so they gotta be fast about this. Unfortunately, their setup knowledge is a bit low. Vasu is still listing as medium. It's drying up just as the practice session ends, though they're still on top. Both of them, at least. Vasu gets a personal best, or a sector best, 1 minute 19.702. Surprisingly, Bukalova has a higher setup knowledge than he does. Probably because we didn't change things up with his car. Not that it's a problem, to be honest. The issue here is whether or not this is going to translate into the actual race, because there's a very good chance that they will fail here. See those news bits. Big Gabriela fan over here. Vasu feeling good with his car. Sakanaka. Sakanaka Tatsuo. That's a pretty awful. Mega impressive in practice today. That's only in practice. I doubt that's gonna translate into the actual race. And so that was 4th. Very likely that he's going to take a win here. Very cloudy so far in the Black Sea shoreline. I wonder how it's going to translate in the next few laps. Looks like it's currently dry. We're going to try and do a one-stop race, but there's a very likely chance it will be 2, unless we can keep our drivers steady. It's race trim and engine expert. Quick fixes and race trim. Now, we can either put them both in softs, or we can do the usual and put Perez in mediums, or we can put them both in mediums and try to stay in the middle of the pack until we can go to the last part of the race, and then we'll switch over. That's very unlikely. Anyway, put them on high engine mode. Both of them should be on high engine mode, and then we'll see how far that goes. Don't want. Anything else I can use? The heck? Okay, remember, we also have the sponsor objective that we need for the funding. Even though we'll get 1,200,000 bonuses, there's going to be a lot of trim, which means our net income won't really be a lot, but it will still help us in our future investments. Now, let's see the grid. Hornblood and Griffin have been struggling all season long, with Hornblood having the worst of it, putting them both on top of the starting grid. Now, Takabayashi seems to have gone a bit too bad right now. He was performing really well for most of the season, but apparently he suffered a couple through the last 3 races, and he is now down to 18th. Bandi as well. Like the teammates are currently sharing the second row. Up on the row, we got Silvera and Lautbekluba, long-time runners who have been struggling all season long as well. Schober and Marsh and 4th. On the 5th row, we got Chu and Ganser. Now, Ganser was originally one of the top runners, but because of some poor decisions in the past 2 races, he has now dropped to 11th. Not exactly a good look for the veteran American. On the 6th row, we have Tianuna and Bilyu, some of the stronger runners of the season, maintaining a bit of the mid-pack capability at least. Then up on the 7th are the sneaky Gabriella Sa and Lormore, who are pretty much still within striking range of the top 5 at least. And up on the 8th row, we have El Sadat and Ramsey. El Sadat with a good chance to score a win here. Up on the 9th, we have Perez and Vidal. Vidal is still also in a great spot to snatch the pole. And then there was also, and the final line, it's Esteva and Vosu, with Esteva just jockeying with Vidal for a chance to get first place after this race. Let's see how things go as we get the lights out and start it up. Looks like it's a better start for Vosu here. Too bad he couldn't take advantage of that, and he got blocked by Vidal on the way out. That's Ganser trying to get over on the other side. Lormore as well. It's going to be a bit of a traffic jam on the first corner out. Looks like Vosu is having trouble keeping a pace. Now, Perez almost gets clawed back by Esteva, but she somehow jumps over and stays in her lane. Ooh, that's Vidal jumping over Esteva now, and now Vidal is looking to overtake Perez. Almost got it, but he can't land it on the home turn. Now, Tianuna getting fastest lap as we start lap 2. Remember, it's going to be either 13-14 or 12-13, just to be on the safe side. Let's just be careful about tire wear, though. How are things looking up front? Griffin, Hornblood, and Silvera are still on 3rd, but it looks like they're getting some tire issues already. Griffin keeping his tires a bit cooler. He's only down to 84%. Now, can our drivers get through it? Even if we do suffer some serious drops in points here, we're still pretty much on top, 259 points, so we can probably afford to lose some points here. Now the problem is, we make the most out of that. Ugh. Perez, now down to 18th, make that 17th as it goes over Vidal again. Vosu, meanwhile, is stuck behind Esteva, who's been really good at blocking for the past 2 laps. Now we're running into lap 3, and Vosu is somehow out of the game. Ooh, good overtake there on the home corner. Can Vosu stick with it, though? Nope, he's still having a bit of a trouble getting through Esteba's position. Meanwhile, up on front, Chu and Foundy have been fighting for 5th. Takabayashi has jumped up to 4th. Nuna goes down to 8th because of Lalpiclua jumping over him. And Shober and Bilyu switching sides, I mean. Side jumping up to 14th was expected. How do we work? Okay, Perez is still trying to keep her 17th spot out, but unfortunately Vidal is has other ideas. Like we might have to push our tires a bit more in a little, as they're starting to get really cold at the start of lap 4. Now Perez is back at 19th, but Esteva jumping ahead of her. Looks like the setup knowledge definitely did not translate at all. Might be trying to push our tires a bit further. Yep, tire temperature is getting to be starting to be a problem with Perez here. Her mediums are getting a little too cold, a little too fast. Not exactly looking too hot, despite the fact that their practice lap was pretty nice, and with only 22 laps, well, they still have 22 laps to go, yes, but the points don't seem to be going really hot for our drivers right now. There is a good chance that Vidal will overtake Esteva here if the current state of affairs continues. Vosu and Perez are now having to fight against each other just for 19th. Not much of a change after that lap, but Vidal seems to be jumping up there to 14th now, getting him even closer to Vosu at the start of lap 6. Not much in terms of speed for both of our drivers, despite the fact that we're pushing our engines a bit too high. Now Vosu's back to 20th. Almost got past Perez there, but Perez was somehow a bit more into the nose there. Things will start changing a bit as soon as we get past lap 7. There's a good chance that we'll be seeing some... Oh, we've already seen some tire changes as the first 3, Hornblatt, Fondi, and Silvera, have switched out. Looks like it's going to be a quick lap for both of them, but there's a good chance that these guys are going to be switching again after at least 3 more... after again, probably 10 more laps. Jumping in a little too early as they went a little too hard with their wheels. Speaking of going hard, looks like it's also time for Vosu to push the tires ahead as we now start lap 8. Tire temperature is a bit of a problem. Ooh, Chu and Marsh have also switched out their tires a little too early. We might have to switch to mediums here instead of going for softs if we want to stay in the running. It's the pit crew that's giving us a bit of an edge here. There's Vosu, he's now down to 26% on his tire wear. Probably good to keep him in neutral now as we enter lap 9 with some pretty nasty switching. Takabayashi has also gone out for a switch. Looks like he's going for endurance as well. Tire wear is starting to get pretty bad for both of our drivers as we approach lap 10, but we can't really switch out tires just yet. I want to avoid getting a little too early, and now we're starting lap 10 with 60% left on Vosu's tires, so we can probably keep him alive for a bit more. We've been stuck behind Perez for 4 laps. Yeah, I know. We just have to hold on for a bit longer. So it's 12:13 at this rate. 16 laps to go. Vosu is starting to slow down. Looks like it's time for him to pit for... okay, let's go for this one. keep the same on pit strategy. Perez will have to stay in here for a bit longer. She'll be rolling until at least lap 13, and then we'll send her to the pit lane. While Sue's about to be overtaken by Griffin because he's rolling a bit slowly. Perez is now down to 11%, and her performance is graining. Guess we're gonna have to switch her out now. Put her in full fuel. Anything I can fix on the parts? Okay, let's go for the rear wing. Now, yep, Foster's dropping to 16th, 17th, 18th. He's in the back. Put her in neutral. Oops, Boissu goes down to 20th. As he is now well behind everybody else. Perez now about ready to switch out tires. Time for a hot bun run. No mistakes on that part, but that's gonna drop her position significantly as we now approach lap 13. Boissu is still at 20th despite the fact that Perez took a while in the pit lane. Well, let's see if they can take advantage of that. Okay, there's a good chance we can lose some place here, as Vexala has a good chance to jump to first with 6 points ahead of us. Not so good on tire wear. I don't like that. Probably conserve our tires for a bit. I still want Boissu to be on top, is what I want. But if that means we'll have to concede points for the... if it means that we have to concede points to avoid promotion, then I can probably accept the fact that we won't get a driver championship this season. Perez is now up to 15th as Chu and Marsh once again go into the pit lane for this one. And push the tires a bit more. Ooh! Lormore has crashed! That is not a good sign. Lormore has crashed in Sector 1. How does that count as a crash? What the hell happened? She's still on the... I don't get it, but... Well, that's going to be a negative for Garuda Racing. That's going to make them a bit lower. And looks like Marsh also has car part issues on her, so she's going out for a switch lane. Boissu is currently 17th. I think I can switch him out. And bring him back to softs. Fuel options should still be the same. Nothing I can fix on his part. Just had to go with this. I'm just gonna keep Perez in the safety on the road. Got one lap of running to go. How's everybody up front? Are they switching out as well? Yeah, they're switching out. I think we're gonna keep Perez up front for the time being, since I don't want to get into a switch into a pit stack right now. Like they went for a pit as well. Fortunately, that puts Boissu at the back. 16th despite all of that, though. You just came out of the pits, you dingus. What the heck are you talking about? Up front, Takabayashi is still at 54% on his tires, but there's a good chance he'll have to switch before this the race is over. Vosu will lose some of his points here because he's well in the back. Unless we can get that safety car out of this, we won't be able to drive fast enough to get through. We've still got 10 laps to go, and everything is really, really slow. Safety car is getting ready to move to the garage. We're just waiting on Takabayashi. Can you stop talking about attacking when we're still in a safety lap? For the love of God, man. They really should have done something about the AI, the drivers complaining about having to attack when we're currently in a safety in a safety lap. It kind of gets grating after a while. Slormore's still stuck on that corner for some reason. I guess they're gonna wait until everybody has gone through the safety lap before they can remove her car from the road. As soon as Takabayashi starts grinding up, we'll push our drivers up as well. Well, that boat actually moves. I didn't notice that before. Safety car is starting to speed up, I think. Oh, just a bit more. There you go, he's starting to run. Getting ready to switch over to full power for this guy. Excuse me. Right, it's time to switch. Put her at high and neutral. High and push, high and push. And now Takabayashi goes into the pit lane for some reason. Perez is gonna lose her 5th place spot here, I feel. Yep, can't get past Gansler. Vosu jumps to 15th, though. So I'll take that, but Vosu still needs to work his way back up if he wants to avoid losing his driver's spot. Esteba's still blocking. Perez about to lose her 4th spot. Ooh, managed to block Sa there for the last stretch of the road. But the tires aren't going hard enough or hot enough to avoid the increased tire wear. Personal sector best, almost overtaking. Ooh, can she get through with Esteba? Nope, she can't. Esteba blocked her at the last second on the home corner, and now she's stuck at 4th. Though there's a good chance she might lose her position to Sa or Bellew. And there it goes. She goes down to 6th even. I think we can stick it up here for a bit. Now everybody has gone into endurance mode. And there's a good chance that we'll still lose the points. Now Perez goes down to 8th. El Sadat going ahead. Ow! Can't get past her because of the traffic, and now she's stuck in 9th. 7 laps to go. Can we come back from this? I don't think so. Perez is now down to 10th. I need to push the tires a little more. She's now down to 11th as everybody's getting ahead of her, but Vosu's jumping up in the ranks at least. Too much traffic this late in the game. It's getting really hard to overtake. Gansler is now ahead of her. Perez now drops to 12th. Well, Peklua now ahead of her at the start of lap 21. Vosu's just looking into it. Ooh, bit of a tight squeeze for both of our drivers, but it looks like Gansler might have something up his sleeves here. Oh no, Perez might lose her 12th spot to Schober as well. Yep, Schober just took over her position. Going to be a rough running here on the last 5 laps of the race as everybody else has switched out. I think we should have given her soft tires after that. Well, whatever. Now here's Vosu trying to get into 14th, but Tia Nunez getting ahead of him. Chu coming in from behind him as well. Not much of a good sign for our drivers. Perez almost got the overtake and snatches it. Oh wait, that's the reverse. It's Tianuna who gets the overtake. Still on top in the team standings, but we're nowhere near the championship for the drivers as we start the last 4 laps. Tires now down to 34%. I could probably go down to neutral with that. 32%, 31% left, 36 on the Vosu side of things. Trying to overtake Schober. Schober losing it, getting her position back. Perez is still back to 13th. Is everybody on a push-up? Hornblad once again losing his spot as he goes for a pit. Very late into the game, Perez going up to 11th, overtaking 2 drivers. Can she keep it? Nope, I don't think she can. She's now back at 11th again. And tire wear is starting to be an issue as she is now down to 25% on her tires, while Sue is still at 13th and can't get past anybody. Yep. Lola Marsh, meanwhile, has suffered through mechanical issues and is now calling it in. Looks like she will suffer some more point drops. Oh, where is Esteva? Esteva is currently at 3rd. Still has 26% on our tires as we've only got 3 laps to go. Make that 2 after this one. She can probably go through this with El Sadat now and on the top. We're gonna miss some coins here, but we're still on top. Can Vosu at least switch places with Perez, though? Looking very, very bad for our drivers as far as points is concerned. As we now go through the last run of the race, I think we can afford to push our drivers a bit more. Ah, Vosu drops down even further. He's now at 14th as Chu gets ahead of him at a hard stack. And now we're in the final lap. Let's see how things go from here. There's no chance that we'll get into the sponsor requirement, but we're still on top of team standings. Can Vosu get back at it and avoid dropping or avoid relegation as 2nd? Nope, I don't think he can. He's struggling with stuff here. And he's now well behind. I think he's going to drop to 15th as well. No, Perez. Can Perez go to 11th? She can. And now Vosu drops to 15th. He is now 2 points behind Esteva. Unfortunately, that race did indeed suck. Griffin managed to hold on to the end and finishing with 1st. Probably one of the best finishes for Griffin this season. And yeah, unfortunately, that was not enough to drop our team points, but it was enough to drop our driver standings. I guess Vosu will have another drop to his. Vosu will now have another drop with his mechanic. That's going to be a sucky point of contention. Perez manages to keep her 4th spot. Vosu drops down to 2nd, but he's still ahead of Vidal. Esteva is going to be happy with that result, though. Bondi is satisfied with his results, but he's definitely looking for an actual win. Vidal did get some good points, but he's still behind. To get to the middle, indeed. Bit of the pack. I don't think we got 5th that we needed. Just have to see. The expected, good in practice, awful in actual race execution. We'll just have to get a bit more out of that. Yep. Relationship with the mechanic dropped down again. We came 7th, which is even worse. Chairman definitely not happy with that. Pit crew's probably going to be a bit disappointed with that finish as well. Apparently some of the worst in the pit lanes now, if not the worst pit crew. Have to switch that around. Our condition update: 35% drop for Vosu, 34% drop for Perez. An interesting driver. I'll go with that. We had a mistake-free weekend, but I think it's a good time to see if we can switch around some of them. Probably. Okay, let's go with Stafford. I think she did a better job at handling the pit crew. Only 2 weeks left until the design center is open. We don't even have the money to invest into the parts. Beijing is just around the corner. 2 weeks, actually. The question is, do I want to trade stuff up or what? Performance and design, factory, staff and brand, staff. Chairman is still pretty happy, at least. We definitely need to work up on the race management because it's dropping significantly. Oh, car repair complete. Is there anything we can do? I don't think we can do anything. We've already finished everything. Since most of the spec parts are already okay, I think we're good. Not looking too hot. We can probably afford to throw at least one more race so that our points drop a bit in the team standings, but we really need to get fueling ban. What? Currently still first. Our potential downside of removing refueling would be eliciting a strategic choices. Currently, managers are able to under or overfuel their cars, and this change would remove one weapon from their arsenal. Fueling adds plenty of variety of races, said former team principal Eddie Dubois. Why is it always Eddie that keeps getting asked for these kinds of things? Don't they have other veteran principals that they can consult here? It makes each race much more expensive. Some of the smaller teams will want to keep refueling out of sport, I'm sure. Right, Beijing is going to be a 31-lap race, so it's going to be a 2-stop race, I think. The lap record is currently 1 minute 15.773. There's going to be a 40% chance of rain, so we're expecting some wetness on the road. Octane is currently the best as far as strong engines are concerned, but it's not really translating into points for them so far, with both Hornblood and Silvera all the way at the back. Probably one of the best in terms of really slow corners. We have a pretty good front wing setup so far, but we still need to improve that with with the wind tunnel. Problem is, we don't have the resources with a wind tunnel just yet. I really need the money to invest in the production car building. What's going on in Singapore? Parisi getting one over his rivals. Both Lippinen and Taniguchi are behind him. That's not enough to get him out of second, with Lippinen still ahead and Taniguchi just a close third behind him. Meanwhile, over there at the Asia Pacific Super Cup, we got Boa Esperanzas de Oste getting some points up here, and now he's up to third, dethroning Krantz from Valbuena, who drops to fourth, 3 points behind him. Larson gets some more points for Kruger Motorsport, but she is nowhere near the top 5. Meanwhile, Strambi gets a rare podium win for Ozu. Still not enough to get him in the top 10, though, and he's stuck in 14th. Beijing almost done with the HQ upgrade. Less than an hour, apparently. There it is. Beijing upgrade complete. Let's see if we... $65,000... 65 million. And the boss doesn't want... can't really authorize us getting an investment in that just yet. Not with just $9 million on the pack. The question is, can we ask for additional funds? No, only 1,000,000. Nope, let's not ask anything. How's the budget for next? We set the budget to be cheap because we are not exactly in a good amount of money right now. Okay. Still not making anything. The refueling man. Let's see the pre-race bites first. Archer once again tipped to get a win, with Tianuna expecting to get the prize, but I don't think that's going to translate. Vidal is hoping to get ahead of Esteva. Tianuna is hoping that he can... Oh, he's still optimistic despite the fact that they're not exactly rolling too hot so far this season. Alright, let's see what's on the vote line. Will benefit teams with low budgets. At CRT and Silva, we're currently up on top. Not benefit Licatelli, Zempelli, and Archer. Do I want to abstain? No, I think I can afford to lose 1 point of voting power. Well, you got 3 in the back. Let's see how it goes to the end. Yep. Somebody did not vote, though. That's 7 votes to 4, and somebody pulled their magical powers to get 2 votes out. That's going to be it for most of the run. What the heck? Why is there a mouse there? Save that up. Move on to the next race. Time to cry at Beijing. Remember, it's going to be a 2-stop race, so it's going to be 11:21, hopefully. Wonder if we can do softs for both of them. No, it's going to be medium, medium, soft, maybe. Or is it soft, soft, super soft? Let's see. The pit crew is currently the worst on the grid. What are our guys doing, man? Good progress. Right, here's hoping we can actually get something out of this. It's time to practice. Looks like it's a very sunny afternoon here in Beijing. I hope that translates to something pretty nice for our drivers. Now, we'll go for softs for this one. Or super softs, rather. Wait, I gotta switch up his position. It's gonna be engine power, so I'm expecting top speed. A bit more stiffness on the road, some down... Probably a little downforce drop. Should be okay. Put Pokalova... A bit more stiffness, and put her in soft for the time being, and go. Let's see, did I miss something? Didn't miss anything, right? Right, let's go and roll, see how far this goes. Going +4. Now, the setup knowledge is going slowly, which means we may have made a mistake here. Race trim is going up fast, though, which could be a positive at least. We're starting our flying lap. Let's see how this goes for both of our drivers. Stiffen up the handling, but it's already really stiff. Alright. That's what you want. Let's go for 1 lap, and then we'll send both of our drivers back in. Or at least, no, let's send one after the other. We just finish this. Bringing Vosu in. Need more angle. Okay, more downforce, apparently. Wrong arrow setup. Yeah, gotcha. Now, race trim is up to level 1, but it's only 8 minutes left, which means we really need to fix that arrow issue. Ukalova's dropping at 11th. Downforce and handling are poor speed balance. Okay. A bit more stiffness, apparently. Stiff. It's a bit more downforce. How stiff do you want this anyway? Going Bukalova down. Oh, Bukalova's now somewhere on the box there. See if things change from here. Okay, it's more acceleration. They want more acceleration, apparently. Got you, little girl. Oh wait, I thought she was already on the home run there. We've only got 6 minutes left in practice. Alright, let's see if this changes anything. Continuing it now as fast as gone. Hornblatt is up on top. As well, Stu going on his flying lap. Twisted downforce are great. Let's hope that translates to better setup knowledge. We've only got 5 minutes left. We haven't reached level 2 on race trim. The setup knowledge is already pretty high. The heck? Let's see, with a personal best now, race trim level 2, just above 4 minutes, or just under 4 minutes. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, though. Now, Bostu is up to 4th. Bukalova's still at 7th, actually dropping to 7th. Handling's a bit worse now, got you. Handling stiffer, got you. Make it a stack, we've only got 2 minutes left. Under 2 minutes left, rather. Or work on a downforce. Speed balance is great. A little more downforce, maybe? Yep, let's go with that. Okay, her downforce is great. What we need to work on is making the handling a bit stiffer. Maybe. Okay, that should be enough. A bit more acceleration. 50-50 should be enough. Let's see if we can get anything out of this as we approach the last minute of practice. We're still working on getting that level 3 race trim, though. Only 30 seconds left. Can they go through with this? I don't think they can. We're pretty much out of luck. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no. Not gonna be able to get to race trim level 3, I'm afraid. Handling's awful. Looks like we'll have to cry now. We might lose some more points here. Well, the better car for Billy. It looks like Zampelli's having a bit of trouble. This is a bit optimistic for Hornblood. Well, Octane Racing looks like they got it nailed. I guess they're gonna get a better performance out of this. Pretty cloudy. That's concerning. Very concerning. Big fixes in race. Trim level 2. Speed balance is excellent, but the handling needs some work. Want to make it softer? Seem to be complaining a lot about that. Okay, let's keep it that. But it's soft. And super soft, rather. And speed bounds could probably work a bit better if we focus on. It's okay about just a little to the left, maybe. Improve the handling so it's a bit. Downforce is great. Just the handling that's a bit on the out of and on the out and out. Let's go with that. Switch her over soft so she can have endurance, and then put them in high engine mode. Hopefully that should be enough to keep us up and alive. Ooh, Takabayashi dropped to 19th? Pretty good acceleration from Vosu. Too bad he couldn't keep it up. Perez, though, going at it, and she is now up to 13th. Can she get into the top 10 from here at this early in the game? Let's wait and see. Now remember, it's going to be a two-stop race. We got to stop at 11 and 22, or 11 and 21st at the best points of it. Ugh. Vosu is now at 12th. How the hell did that happen? Meanwhile, Perez going back to 16th after being caught in traffic just before the mini hairpin. Vosu is now struggling at the straights. He's dropping at 12th, make that 13th as he fails to defend on the home corner, with El Sadat jumping ahead of him as we start lap 2. It's like he has pretty good jump out. He has pretty good control on the jump outs after the corners, but he is struggling at keeping the speed at the straights. So this is going to be an issue for our drivers here. Now Perez is down to 16th. Vosu is down to 15th after getting left behind by Sa. Another 1-2 for our drivers, but they need to work out here as we start lap 3. They really need to focus on. Oh no. They need to focus on getting their strengths out on the corners and then jumping away. Looks like even with the acceleration-based setup, they're still having issues with making the most out of their speed. Oh no, that's Vidal taking over Perez's spot and probably going past Vosu as well. Yep. Ooh, even Esteba's ahead. Our driver's not exactly handling the corners very well so far, even as we start lap 4. A rough patch. And I have to push Perez a little too far here, just to keep the tires on a good run here. And now she's down at 20th. Vosu still keeping his 17th spot, but he needs to work his way up here if he wants to stay in the championship, in the Racers Championship, or the Drivers Championship rather. Now we're starting lap 5. He's now at 16th, but he still needs to work his way up here. Ramsey is now blocking Perez. Oh, make that Esteba, as Ramsey goes ahead of Esteba as well. Vosu still stuck at 16th as we approach the main chicane prior to the mini hairpin. Hornblatt, Griffin, and Marsh are pushing their cars to the limit up on top. Marsh really trying to make up for the lost time from retiring in the previous stint. Perez having her work cut out for her here as we approach lap 6. Still a bit of a pain to work with Vidal keeping Perez out, or rather Vosu, out of the top, the upper half of the back enders. And now looks like Ramsey's about to go into it. Perez is now down at 20th with Bilyeu keeping her out of the ropes. Into the mini hairpin, still couldn't get an overtake, with Sa now dropping behind Vidal. Starting lap 7 with a poor showing from our drivers. By the low measure. I don't get it. Perez is at the back, but she has a driver form of 9.1. I don't get why. Bosu defending 16 from Ramsey. Still pretty much in a good spot to take. Ooh, good overtake on that chicane there. He takes one over Sa, and he's now in 15th, but Vidal is still ahead of him. Meanwhile, Perez going after Billy after he's blocked her for the past 2 laps. Now we're approaching lap 8. Tire still pretty decent for Bosu, I think. That's not gonna be. Ooh. Yep, we see Silveira and Fondi have now gone for a pit change, giving our drivers some more bonuses. Looks like Hornblatt also went in the pit, but he got ahead of Sa, which is a bit of a bad sign, all things considered. It's lap 8. Let's keep it at neutral. She can probably last longer here. Oh no, Perez goes down to 12th, or rather 18th, as Sa gets ahead of her again. And now we got Bosu getting stalked by Ramsey. He needs to jump ahead on those straights as we start lap 9. He's now down to 32%. Marsh and El Sadat have switched out tires. Now Perez is up to 16th, but I don't think that's going to be enough to keep her on the road. She's now down to 39%. Going for some pretty nice spots here. Oh, looks like Ramsey's going for a pit change. He pushed his car a little too far here. Bosu trying to get some places before everybody gets into the pit lanes, but he's having trouble as well. Perez keeping her 16th spot, but she's having trouble keeping Silveira ahead of her, or behind her. But Bill Yu also defending excellently as we start lap 10. And probably time to switch tires out a bit. And switch them over to mediums for the time being. Parts condition doesn't seem to be a bit of a case here. Let's keep it at safe. Oh, crud. Seriously? Alright, let's push our soft tires a bit more so that they don't have to worry about tire wear due to the heat loss. Bosu will have to pit here and concede his 6th spot, as he is having trouble with his tires already. He's now down to 17%. We'll switch Perez out in a bit. Perez is up to 9th, but she's down to 24% on tires, and Bosu drops down to 15th, or rather 17th, as everybody else goes ahead of her, or get ahead of him. Gonna wait for a bit more, I suppose. Ooh, good jump to 8th on that chicane there, getting ahead of Billy for once. Now, getting out of the mini hairpin into the last 2 corners before the start-end line. We start lap 20. It looks like Perez is struggling with the straights again. Probably time to switch her out to soft for the time being. Keep the fuel up. I don't think... Yeah, we can't fix any of these. Just have to hope that they stay until the end of the race. Bosu trying to get back into it. He's still stuck at 17th, despite the fact that Chu went for a pit stop. Looks like we're seeing a few pit requests here as well. We got Bilyu coming up for a switch. Ah! Good overtake there over Esteva, but too bad. She'll have to concede that 6th spot as soon as we get to the last 2 corners, as she needs to turn her tires in for a new set. Meanwhile, Bosu has jumped to 15, taking over Takabayashi and Nalpeklua. Griffin scores fastest lap despite being 8th. Perez exiting the pit lane and 17th, changing spots with Bosu. Now she's going for speed. We'll see if she can survive that run until at least lap 21, and then things will start to change once we switch over. Bosu down to 84% on his tires just before we start lap 14. He's having a bit of trouble getting through the speed runs, and I don't think he can take advantage of Sa coming out of the pit lane. No, actually he got over Sa. Sa is now down to 19. Perez gets an overtake over Lalpiclua, and she's now in 15th. I don't think she can keep that, though. Ooh, she can! Good blocking on Lalpiclua on the exit there, but she is now behind Fandi, who's doing a great job blocking things. Wasu up to 12, taking over Takabayashi's spot. There's a lot of gaps here between him and Chu, though, but he's got the tire advantage, so that could help him make up some spots before we have to switch tires again towards the last third of the race. We got 17 laps remaining as we start lap 15, and it looks like most of the original race leaders are now switching tires up. Wasu jumps ahead at 7th, but he was blocked by Schober, who was playing defensive there on the way out. Not exactly a good spot for the German. I guess team orders took advantage, or took priority, rather. Now Perez is up to 11th. Up to 10th, even. Taking advantage of all those blockings thanks to the pit changes. Still ahead, Griffin, Marsh, El Sadat. Rounding up the top 6, we got Tianun, Chu, and Schober in that order. But now Valsu's looking to get over shoulder spot, and Perez jumping up to 10th as she gets another shot at Vidal. Bit of an open spot here as Vidal is also having trouble taking over Takabayashi's spot just before we start lap 16. Thankfully, her tire wear is well balanced with the tire temperature, so she can take advantage of that. Still having a bit of trouble getting through the runs here. Well, behind... Wait, what? Wasu jumps to 7th? Oh no, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at somebody else. Coming out of the mini chicane just before lap 17th, Marsh gets the fastest lap bonus, but that's not looking too hot on her tires. Most of the top 6 are well ahead, and our drivers really can't catch up to them right now. Well, see, not really doing much with his speed. Probably push him ahead for the tire since we'll switch him out to supers just before we go to... Ooh, Perez drops 10th again. Couldn't keep the lead over Vidal. But maybe she'll be able to get something out of that. Griffin finally gets fastest lap, but he's down on the reds here as we approach lap 18. We still got a lot of spots to go. Thankfully, tire wear doesn't seem to be an issue with Vasu right now, so he can push as hard as he can. And then we'll go ahead and switch him out to supers before the towards the end of probably lap 22 or lap 23. Perez still having trouble getting past Vidal. Vidal and Takabayashi keeping their position steady as we start lap 19. A lot of gaps up front, but it looks like we're going to see some changes out here as Griffin and Tianuna switch out tires for endurance running. Wasu still at 47% with his tires. Perez is now down to 42. Might need to push it a bit more here, unless we can actually run through the town with this one. But I think we're going to keep it at this balance rate for the time being. Marsh having car parts issues again. Looks like she's having reliability issues towards the end of the series. Not exactly a good look for Archer BMR. Definitely not a good sign for their factory back home. Now Vasu is at 3rd. Perez jumps to 6th. It's going to be a bit more of an endurance run here now, as we worry about fuel issues as well. Still can't get past Vidal, but Takabayashi is making up some spots here as he's pushing forward. I don't know how long we can keep Vasu on the road, however. He's definitely going to have to switch out soon. Schober is just about ready to switch. El Sadat still on ahead, but he's now down at 21% on his tires, and he's really pushing his car for all it's worth. Looks like we're seeing some changes here. Lodpakluwa and Bilyu calling out for a switch out. Perez still at 6th. Definitely need a switch out as well. And now we're approaching lap 21. And it looks like it's starting to be a fuel issue. Uh-oh. There's team orders on the back there. Just need to switch out soon. Vidal is still at 49%. I think we can switch out Perez here and bring her up to... Wait, how much money? How much more fuel? Okay, I think she can still roll for at least one more lap, and then we'll switch her out. Put her in super softs again, and then she can run for the rest of the race with that. Or... Now, let's go for super softs now. Give her some fuel. Wow, that's a lot of fuel. Yeah, definitely gonna have to switch that out. I'll put Vosu out in the next couple of runs, I guess. About 22 starts. Keep him medium. Perez is going to be well behind, though. 15th, 16th, she's dropping even further. Vidal, now it's 2nd. Okay, keep her at high. Drops to 17th as Vilju and Fondi get ahead of her in the runs. But we're still pretty much going strong here, I think. Vosu now down to 24. Maybe it's time to switch out to supers again. Give him the fuel he needs. Parts condition, anything we can change? Oh, we can change the front wing. Here's hoping it doesn't affect his standing as much. I still see a lot of red in the back there, so there's a good chance we can still put him up on top. He's going to take a while. Now he's down to 10th. Off target. Now he's down to 13th. Coming out of the pit lane there. Probably push him to high now. Lodpakluwa gets fastest lap. Can we take advantage of everybody else pitting a little too early so we can jump up in stats? We'll have to see. 8 laps to go. Just coming out of the mini chicane. He still has some spots out here to work with. Perez gets a personal best up. Yep, a little too early. Let's go for mediums just in case. I don't feel confident about this right now. Or maybe not. Looks like Takabayashi is pushing it to the limit here. Okay, let's go for highs then. Who's that coming in? Looks like Fondi is ready to switch out, unfortunately. He's jumping a little too early. Vosu is still at 13th, but he's well behind the top 10 now. Schober ahead, and Vidal, along as loyal as Hornblood. Looks like most of the race leaders have switched out at the start of lap 25, but we can't take advantage of that. Only got ahead of one driver. That's oh wait, Hornblood's still back there. What the heck? Getting a little conservative on tires here. Vosu may be losing his spot to Takabayashi soon. Meanwhile, on the other end, Perez still rolling steady. 68% left, but we still got 6 laps of driving. Or make 7 laps of driving. No, 6 laps of driving to go. As we enter lap 26, we've got Lormore and Silveria coming into the pit lane. That's going to give Vosu a jump up, and he's now at 9th. Perez jumps up as well. She is now at 14th. We're now down on points, though. 2nd in the running. We can probably concede some points here just to avoid promotion. We still got 2 races to go, however, and that's going to be the problem. Vilju still blocking Perez on the back there. 5 laps to go. Schober getting fastest lap despite being on 4th. Sa going for a pit lane late in the race. Not exactly a good sign for our local Portuguese driver. Perez couldn't take advantage of that jump, though. I don't think she's going to be able to overtake there. Ooh, good overtake for Perez just before Saw can get out. Now we're back up with Watson Industries, with Vidal and Esteva are still ahead. Gotta push the tires a bit more. Vidal could keep up until the end with his tires. That's a problem. Perez still having trouble getting past Bilyeu. Hornblatt and Esteva jumping ahead now. Takabayashi still on the back there. Four laps to go. And now Perez is down to 46% on her tires. Ooh. Tia Nuna went for a pit lane, for a pit stop this late in the game now. Still got 59% left on her tires. So the question is, can they run it? Perez jumps up to 12, taking over Sa's spot, but she can't hold it. I think she's going to drop to 13th at this rate. Bilyeu still ahead of her. While Sue still in the middle, pretty much unable to take advantage of the positioning. Wait, hang on. Sorry about that. Where were we? Alright. Bosu is still stuck at 7th, and now we're approaching the last 3 laps of the race. Perez drops down to 13th. Not a good sign for our driver there in the back. I don't think anybody's going to be going for a pit stop here now. Bosu's going to drop to 3rd unless he can get something over. Oh, who was it? Esteva? Esteva's currently in 9th. Wasu needs to get more places if he wants to get Esteva out of the top. But Vidal is going to be ahead of both of them at this rate. Vidal is currently in 6th. Still a bit more fuel as we start lap 30. 2 laps to go. I'll go for overtake here. Maybe. Enough space here. Gansler going for a late game pit. I have no idea why he did that. I guess he pretty much gave up since it's the last 3 races of the season, and he has no chance of getting back up on the middle. One lap of racing left to go, and I don't think Wasu is going to be able to get there. Somehow or other, we still managed to keep Perez in the riding, but she definitely needs some more roll-ups. El Sadad is going to get ahead of her here. Griffin once again scoring a win. That's back-to-back wins for Griffin here this season. Still not enough points to drop our team standings, however. Perez goes down. She is now down to 15th as her fuel condition and tire condition pretty much worked really bad for her. I don't think she'll be able to push up further here, and now she's down to 15th on the finish. Not a good luck. She drops to 5th. And Griffin, once again, getting a win for Zampelli Engineering. Pretty good running overall for the American. That's going to help him take some more spots up. Look at those race standings, shall we? It's the refueling that pretty much ate up our positioning there. Unfortunately, we really couldn't make the most out of that since we have terrible staffing in the pit crew right now. That drops Vosu down to third, just behind Esteban, though they do share points. And Perez, meanwhile, drops to fifth, with El Sadat getting ahead of her. And we just need to get a few more points below, and Vexala can probably take the promotion for us as we stay here in the back. Now, Hornblatt is still up, rather below, and his teammate Silvera drops down to 17th. Takabayashi gets up to 18th, switching out with Fondi. Now, where is Griffin? Griffin is currently 15th. Despite the strong showing, he's still in the lower half of the top 20 and has no chance to get into the top 5, even with the next few races. Another Perez fan out there. Well, Baklua not really doing too hot so far. Now we're going into the speed circuit. Speed circuit that is the Rio course. It's going to be ultra soft time. Yeah, mechanic relationship dropped significantly. Chairman definitely not happy. Now our money's going down the drain. Let's see what other news spots we have out here. There's car condition upgrade. 28%, 32%, not too bad. Okay, what's on the interview? She's an interesting driver. Let's put her morale up a bit more. That's just a few milliseconds lower than our fastest pit stop, but we do need to work on those pit times. Our crews are a little too tired. Not a lot of good options on the pit crew. Poor luck so far. Maybe we should... Anything else to worry about? No, doesn't look like it. What else do we have to worry about? We've got 2 more races. We're only 4 points ahead of the next team, which is Vixala, right? Yeah, it was Vixala. Chesa, and who's the other Vixala driver? Oh, Esteva. I could afford to lose the other spot here. I could probably afford to concede top spot to avoid relegation, but I want to at least give Vosu a chance at getting the Drivers' Championship this season. Even though he is going through it via points and not via wins. Well, whatever. Whatever gets the points through. Oh, nang. That's not a good sign. Fondy's already retiring. He's at 34 years old. I don't think... Did he actually get anything throughout the season, throughout his career? At least a win? That's 2024. Well, he did get a win in Munich. That's one. Not much everything else. Let's see. He got 1 podium with Lampang. Oh, he started out as an endurance driver, then he went up. He was mostly an endurance driver. He only got 1 win in the 2016 season with Tony Zhang. 3 podiums and 1 win with Luca Tully in 2017. And then he got 4 podiums and 2 wins in 2018. Then after that, a bit of a drought. In 2020, he went with ZRT and got 1 podium. Once again, a bit of a drought until his drive with Dragon Race Team China, where he's currently in 1 podium, 1 win for the current season. Now we got a new sponsor out. Let's see what they have to hablada in Spanish. 6 payment for race. Okay, we'll take it. $200,000 a race. Not exactly the highest, but well, since our marketability is down and the sponsor appeal level is low, choices there. Design center is up. That's only a slight increase in parts design time. What we really need to get through though is we can upgrade some of your building. Can we upgrade the staff center? It's 8 million, but I don't think we need to upgrade the staff center so far. What we really need is this, the road car factory. We just need more money. Hang on, I need to check some of my notes. Well, I want to do, I still cannot decide. This is a bit hard. I mean, I could probably focus on getting performance first, and then we can probably use that in feedback to get the road car factory in the late game. But I want to get the money now, and it's gonna take them a while to build it. Boss just doesn't allow it because there's a lot of money here. I mean, we can go and get the wind tunnel out, or we can focus on the simulator first. But no, the simulator is also in the spec parts segment for the next level, so I think what we need to work on is getting better brakes, maybe? Or we can probably focus on getting an upgrade to our... We can go for handling development. Or improve the capabilities of our test track. Box level 3. Can also increase the staff center capability, but that's $8 million. Hang on. Need to run it through again. I want to get road car factory. I don't feel like. Well, road car is good for long-term runs, right? The problem is we're not making enough income because we're not making enough points. Now we can probably go up again and go into the Asia Pacific Super Cup, but we're going to lose a lot because our parts aren't exactly up to snuff and we can't really upgrade everything. We don't have the money. Now I need the money to get my to get the buildings up and rolling. Now, what do I want? Still cannot decide. Do I want to do it? Champagne. That's not a good sign. Do I really want to get there? Because we can probably focus on getting improved car parts instead of improved money making. But I really need the money. So how? Drama? What? What? What's going on? What's going on over there? Oh no! Mechanic fight, and it's an 8. Nope, unfortunately we're already down on the morale. We're keeping her on drops, but everything is starting to go down. Not looking a lot not looking good so far, and our mechanics are pretty much down, so we can't really use the bonuses either. 50% drop in uh, mechanic relationship. How much money are we going to make from the next 2 races, or at least from the end of the season? That's the question. Where's my mail? This month. Is there anything that's older? How about the GMA news? Nothing? I guess they got deleted, huh? Yeah. Yeah, these are votes for the I need the previous one. Hang on. Where's the rules? What? Oh, that's the previous result. Sport season payout. Well, since we're going to be promoted to there's a good chance we're going to be promoted to the next step anyway. I think we should just focus on getting better parts for the time being. Let me look at the next year's rules for the Asia Pacific Super Cup, shall we? Excuse me. Current rules: medium length practice, medium length qualifying. 21 lap races, 60-mile pit lane speed limit, semi-sequential, high merit, double points for the final race of the season, bonus points for the driver in pole, low profile tires, 12 dry tire choices, virtual safety car only, refueling, driver aids. Yeah, these are the things that are annoying to me. Driver aids and weight stripping are gonna hit us really badly. I'm not too good with weight stripping, and I'm not exactly a fan of driver aids. The points are only for top 8, by the way. The only thing that's on spec is the rear wing setup, which puts us in a bit of a disadvantage. So we can... Personally, I think we can focus on improving the capability of the staff center, maybe. Where's my staff? How do I get better? Not too worried about the next one. So we definitely need to improve the capabilities of our mechanics so that the pit crew options could be better. So we can... Rear wing can't go that wheel. Front wing forecasting center doesn't really work. XRND road car. I really want to get that road car though. Good unbreak. No, we still need to get better parts here. Nah, let's save it. Let's go and save it. Alright, World Motorsport Racing Championship is almost done. Looks like Lippinen is getting another lead over his rival Parisi. At least they're getting better at it. Two more races, and I'm still worried about whether or not we'll be able to get through with the roads here. Especially since it's Rio and things are kind of crazy in Rio. I could probably switch out some of the pit crew myself. Take off the auto manage for the time being because, good lord, this guy needs a swap out. I don't know. Should swap out with Itchin. Fueling is a bit of an issue, however. Also, I can work with a lot of guys in recovery. Front jack. Anybody on the front jack that's good and okay. Yomisaka is better at the front jack, relatively speaking. I think we're good enough with this. And now we're not gonna change them, are they? Ooh, wait, hang on. I need somebody on the left tire who's a little less tired. That's just 66. That's just 3 on tires and 4 on the fixing. Not a good sign. Okay, let's go with this. Get them well rested. Alright, then we'll manage them. That should be enough for this race and probably the next. Currently still on first. And how about Rio? It's going to be a 23 lap race, so it's going to be a one-stop run for us. Octane is still pretty good with the engines, despite the fact they're not doing too well. Improve on the engine designs? We'll look into that, Bossu. We'll look into that. I need to get the money back, is what I need. We've been running at this for a little too much. There's Rio now. I don't care about Shimizu. Vidal is confident he will get his 3 points ahead of Esteva. Parts fitting, still delighted. Right, last 2 races. Rio is going to be a speed circuit, so we need to be a bit more aggressive here. Especially because we're pretty much at the end of the paddock as far as lap changes are concerned. So our guys are going to have to work their way through when exiting the pit lane. Switch out there. Down, maybe. And switch him to ultras while Perez goes off for supers. Softs. Let's see how practice goes this time. Maybe it's gonna be a bit better. Coming out of like, as you can clearly see, we're pretty much at the tail end of the pit lane, which means getting in will be a pain, but getting out will be a bit easier. We just need better pit crew to handle that. Otherwise, we're done for. Road's pretty quick. We're already back at the start there. How are things going up? Right, we still got half of the lane rolling in. Being too aggressive with the wing angles, apparently. Gonna have to change that in the next lane. So there's gonna be a little less downforce since it's a speed circuit. Handling is feeling superb, at least. Put Vosu in, forget about waiting for the next lap. His setup knowledge is slow. So less aggressive wing angles. Look at how far we have to go just to get our car into the pit lane. Handling and speed are excellent. It's just a downforce that's a little too much. We'll probably have to cut that slightly. Okay, let's go with that. See if it doesn't change the speed balance much. Keeping the ultra softs on his side of things. Vidal now on top. Bukalova dropping a second on the timesheet. Everything is still pretty dry out here in Nero. Or, I mean Rio, when I say Nero. Just the right arrow setup, but her setup knowledge is still pretty low. She's now down to 4th. I'm gonna bring her in now. Osvaldo coming up on the outlap. Not too hot. Let's go. Let's see how this one works. He's at medium. Still no feedback, though. Oh, he's almost over medium with just 6.5 minutes left in practice. Still have a little over half for the setup for the speed trim. Ah, there you go. Still need some work on the speed balance, apparently. And on the arrows. To make it less aggressive. Just a bit. Handling's great. Speed balance could definitely need some more Switch to acceleration, maybe? Just the understeer. See if this works. The optic manifold clear. Now, with 6 minutes left in practice, Arrow is feeling great right now, just the right setup. And now Wasu jumps up to first, 1 minute 19.27 on the sheets. Just 0.3 of a second ahead of Tia Nuna. I think he's having a ball on the road right now. He's now high in setup knowledge. He's about ready to get level 2 race trim. Handling is spot on. Kolova is now medium. Still below this threshold for a good jump though as we approach the last 4 minutes practice. 4.5 minutes remaining. Bukalova's at 7. Setup knowledge is now at level 2. Speed bounce is right on the money over there. Could still use some more tweaking in the acceleration side of things, I believe. Perfect gear ratios? Somehow I don't believe that. Bukalova's halfway through too high. Wasu's gonna drop down a bit. Personal best, yep. Oh, Bukalova jumped to 3rd. Bit slow on the growth there. Well, you have to switch him back out as we approach the last 2.5 minutes of practice. Setup knowledge is going a bit higher for the race trim there. Really happy with the gear ratios, excellent. Coming in after 3 laps, a 3-lap stint on neutral softs. Yes, we need to work on that speed balance. There's definitely something wrong with it. Yeah, it went a little too low. It has to be sure, maybe. Just the tire pressure. Okay, let's go and see if this will be enough to keep him on the running. Still got a minute and a half to go, and we can probably get race trim level 3 here. Bukalova seems to be rolling pretty decently. Good run on... Not as good a run on both of her sectors so far, though. Might need to change that up. No, we've only got a minute left. At least we got race trim to level 3, so that's gonna be safe. And her setup knowledge is now high. Bosu's still first. Approaching the outlap. 6.54. No, he's not gonna make it. He finishes the practice on top of the score sheets. We'll see if that'll be enough to make him happy with his car setup. Bukalova is also high. Much better. That's not exactly a good sign. Tia Nuna stuck in the middle there. Vidal, Marsh, and El Sadat still making the rounds. Ooh, Vidal gets 1 over Hornblood. Hi, friends. Wasu... Yep. Wasu seems to be really happy with his car setup right now. Let's hope that actually translates to something. Okay, how do we go with here? We cannot take advantage of the other mechanic components because they have a bit of a fight with them right now, so... Okay, let's go light-footed, ultra-soft. Perfect! Straight here. Excellent running. I don't know if I can save this setup. All purple, that's a rare sight. Okay, keep the tires at ultra softs and keep it there. I think we're also gonna keep Perez at ultra softs. Just gonna go for pushing on the engine modes. Remember, we're trying to play it as a one-stop race, and we've got 23 laps to do that. So I'm going to assume we can stop at lap 12, hopefully. Now Perez has to be conservative with her tires, though. Since I want her to go for a speed run, but I don't want her to eat up her tires too much. Vosu is rolling up. That was a good acceleration from both our drivers, but they're not exactly running. Oh, wow! Somebody went wide. Chu ran really wide there, almost crashing the tire barrier. Now Vosu's up to 12. Perez up to 15, taking ahead of Ramsey. Who was that? That was Ramsey jumping in from the inner corner to take over 2 spots, but I don't think he can accelerate fast enough. And once again, Perez is jumping into 14th. Perez and Vosu are now tire to tire. Ooh, good overtake there from Vosu, keeping Perez in the back, but unfortunately Ramsey cuts in between them, and now Perez in 16th. Silveira scoring fastest lap as we enter lap 2, getting ahead of Fandi, 2 seconds ahead in fact, just before the checker flag. Now we're starting to see some breakouts, also some threats of rain because of the clouds, but the weather forecasting center doesn't see anything so far, at least for the next 6 laps. Perez almost got there, but Gansler blocks her at the last second. The chicane really keeping Perez out of the running here. Vosu going down to 14th as we start lap 21. Hang on. Sorry about that. I had to check something real quick. Well, let's go back to the running. Vosu now behind Sa. Not exactly going too good with the tires there. I think we can probably keep it at neutral so far. El Sadat switching over with Vidal. Vidal now dropping 2 within targeting distance, just sharing points with Vosu here. Vosu trying to get 13th, but Sa gets one over the corner, and he's now way behind, 2 cars lengths away. And now it's Vosu versus Perez as we approach lap 4. Things aren't looking too bad for our tires so far, surprisingly. Ooh, side by side on that straight there. Photo, picture perfect shot. Vosu still at 14th. Perez sneaking a corner there, and now they're exchanging spots on the S-curves. Vosu is now down at 15th with Perez ahead of him. As we approach the start of lap 5, coming in on the heavy straights here, we're starting to see a bit of tire wear for those up front. Not exactly a good sign for our riders as well. It's time to conserve the tires a bit, just to keep them up on the roads for a bit longer. Perez still at 14th, but Vosu definitely trying not to keep her a bit comfortable. Now they've switched positions again. Good back and forth between teammates, but up front, Bilyeu loses his position, or her position, or his position to Gansler, who's trying to make up some spots here, although that's not exactly going to help him get back into the front lines at the current state of things. He's now down to 14th on the overall driver standings. Silveira, Hornblood, and Fandi are going at it a little too hard, trying to get some space ahead of the other teams. Their tire wear is definitely not in an optimal spot this early. Perez going down to 16th, or rather trying to keep her 15th spot from Esteva, but Esteva says no. Bit of a fight here in the back. Vidal also getting into it just before we start lap 6. Now Vidal going up. Vidal and Esteva going ahead of Perez. Vidal and Esteva fighting against each other. Bit of a block up over there. kind of put them back in neutral. Now Perez up to 16th. No, back down to 17th with Esteban and Vidal blocking him. Blocking her. Vosu still up in 14th, but he's going to lose it. Ooh! That's Vidal and Esteban taking over his position as well. Up front. That's Esteban going normal, though. Improved performance for their car. Mexala could probably snatch the lead here. Perez and Vosu coming out at 16th, 17th. Ooh! A bit early braking there for Gansler, and now he's having a hard time trying to keep his spot. El Sadat coming out of nowhere, taking over Vosu's spot, and Vosu's now at 18th. Perez still at 16th. Can she snatch some leads here on the S-curve? No, she cannot. She's dropping to 17th as well. El Sadat going against both of our drivers, and he is now... Ooh. El Sadat is now at 13th, but that's because Silveira, Fandi, and Hornblood have gone for a pit stop. There's Perez going up to 13th to have taken over El Sadat's spot. Looks like El Sadat is trying to be conservative with his tires as well. Should also cool my tires down a bit, getting a little too hot. Perez now trying to get up to 12th, as Sa seems to be going into blocking mode. Nakabayashi, Labakula, and Griffin have taken over 13th, or rather the top 3. Perez going down to 13th again. No thanks to Vidal jumping ahead. Vosu getting caught in the traffic, and he is now down to 16th. Make that 17th as Ramsey jumps ahead of him. And now we're starting lap 9 with some drops in standings for our drivers here. Expecting to see some changes in the lead here just before we hit the middle of the pack. Probably have to put Vosu in first. Seems like he won't be able to run that fast here. He's only down to 32%. Now it's another fight between Perez and Vosu. Teammates struggling in the back there against each other. As we start lap 10, we got Perez and Vosu up to 13th and 14th as Gansler and Takabayashi go straight for a pit switch. Still up front, Chu blocking both of them and keeping things easier for his teammate El Sadat, who is now down to 39% on the tires. Question is, can they actually take advantage of all these changes and stay in the running for long enough? Seeing some change in tires as well. Both of our drivers down to the reds here. I can probably hold Vosu for another lap or two. As long as it's... oh yeah. 13 laps to go, starting lap 11. Now we've switched up. Esteban, Lormor, Griffin, and Lapaclu have all switched out tires. We've still got 22% on Vosu, 25% on Perez. I think we can keep both of them for at least another lap in. We'll switch out Vosu at the end of lap 12, see if that changes anything. Why is Vosu going down already? I don't like this. I think we'll have to switch him out to... we'll have to switch him out now. Probably go to just softs. Give him some fuel. Anything we can fix? Fix the front wing. Brakes. Nope. X. Nope. Nope. Okay, fine. Front wings it is. Keep it a balance. 12 seconds should be nice. Perez could probably drive for another few runs, and then we'll switch her out at the end of lap 12. Keeping her in ultras, I believe. 12 laps to go. Now she's starting to see some red. Keep the fuels up as well. Anything in the parts condition that I need to work with? Okay, fine. Let's go with front wing again. It's gonna be 12 seconds up there. Looks like everybody's also having issues with keeping things up on the run. Perez is now down to 8th. These ultra softs are getting really grating so easily. Vosu is now down in 20th as everybody else has gone ahead of him. still got a lot of running to go, unfortunately, because of those because of the refueling time eat up. Can't really run fast. Now we've got 11 laps to go here. Perez is now down to probably she's gonna go down heavily as everybody else going ahead of her. We're up in 13th, 15th, 17th, 18th. Yep, that's both of our drivers out there on the pit lanes. Perez is now down to 20th. We might see another switch up here as Noooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooo10 laps to go. It's going to be an endurance run by the looks of it. Medium for the time being, as we wait out the others who are still in the pit lane. Oh, couldn't get out of there in time. I really need better refueling. That's the one that's currently eating up our times. Well, repairing isn't much of an issue, but refueling definitely needs some more work. No, we've got 9 laps to go. Push our drivers up a bit more. Put it in neutral. We're seeing some pit lane crews out here. Good drop in points there by the looks of it. It might be enough to keep us alive, while not exactly losing up on spots. Main issue here is the fact that we do have to worry about our standings. If we lose the next one like this, we're definitely not going to be able to survive the chairman's ultimatum. I'm not in the mood for any of that. Well, soon, now down to 81%. 8 laps to go. Starting at lap 16 and they're still nowhere near the area. Not exactly pushing well out here, way off target. Perez starting to get some speed up here. Even with the reds up in the road, Vosu doesn't seem to be taking advantage of his spots, and he is having a bit of trouble keeping up with things. Now we got 7 laps to go. Still a lot of good tires up front. They might not see any changes out here. Looks like we made a serious mistake putting him in softs. Should have kept it in ultras. Well, that should be enough to at least drop our points a bit more. But I do want to see at least Perez up on the standings. 6 laps to go. 66%, average 67% for both of our drivers as far as tire durability is concerned. Seeing some changes up front as well. Takabayashi and Fandi, both of the Dragon Race team drivers, have switched out their tires. Now we're rolling hot and heavy towards the last few laps. We might see some more changes up front as well. Griffin still rolling, but Silvera is pretty much running on her rims here, and now she's out into the pit lane. Maybe not a change in sight there. Now it's starting lap 5. 5 laps to go. I mean, it's not starting lap 5. We've still got 5 laps to go. 19 out of 23. Griffin and Lapiclua have jumped over. Vidal is way ahead. Bosu's dropped to 3rd in the projected standings here. Not much of a change for both of our drivers, annoyingly. Now we're starting lap 20, 4 laps to go. Griffin still has enough of a tire to push forward and maintain and get another win out here. Now we've taken over Hornblatt, who went back into the pit lane at a really crucial time. Who's out of 15th? Ormore's going into defensive for some reason. Probably trying to help other teammates ahead. Perez and Vosu just running in convoy for the last 5 laps. Can't really take over some of the defensive drivers up front as we start lap 21. a little conservative there. Perez finally getting one over Bossou as well as Lormore. As we approach the last 2 laps of the race. Oh, a bit of an exchange there between Bossou and Perez. Now, Bossou gets left behind by Lormore instead. That's going to drop him significantly. Push it a bit more neutrally as we approach the last 2 laps. Starting lap 22 with a really rough edge out here. Griffin might get a 3-peat as he's driving towards the end with another significant lead over the others. 3 seconds out of Vidal. Bossou gets one over Lormore, but Lormore comes back at him on the S-curve. Now we're pushing it up at the final lap. Let's see if they can go with it. Well, Griffin is definitely going to make this, but it looks like Vidal is closing in on him. Vidal goes one as Griffin suffers tire problems. He's not going to be rolling fast with that one. We're going to miss some target times for our drivers here. Unfortunately, it looks like Bossou might have to concede his spot as well. Really bad standing here. Vidal gets one over Griffin, fails to get his 3-peat, and he goes down to 4th at the end of the race. I want to see how that's going to affect our driver standings. Might have put Bossou down to 4th even, which is a bit of a bad spot for the Estonian headphones. I was wondering why my headphones felt a bit snappy. Wire was off. Checking cars, scrutineering, no rules broken. No need to worry about any of that. Oh, Nick Chu suffering a penalty here. Parts rule broken, and he goes down 2 spots, which allows our drivers to jump a bit higher. Well, that's not going to help us either way. Where's Griffin? Griffin's up on 4th, right? 16 points behind Vidal now. It's Garuda Vexala up on 1-2. Watson, oh no, I mean Perez drops down to 7th as both Bilyu and Sa gets ahead of her. And now we're down on standings. Looks like Vexala might be promoted next time. It could have been worse indeed. It could have been worse. Happy-ish is indeed a word I would use for this situation. Let's see in the news. I think the chairman will definitely not be happy with that result, however. Driver mechanic relation came down 8th. Ooh. At least we still have 8 million. So Newton faces on the Asia Pacific Super Cup podium there, though. Finally, we are in the last race of the season. The first time we're going to be running in Toronto. Or rather Vancouver. I have no idea how this race is going to go, so let's hope we don't suffer much. Ooh, equal drop in performance, 35% for both of our cars. Okay, what's on the interview? The driver morale isn't that bad, I think. 7 seconds. Again, looks like the pit times aren't exactly too good. I'll take that. Right, that's going to be in the next one. Hang on, let me just check something real quick. Right, now we are in the end game. We've only got 8 million left in the money bank. I'm trying to keep that money for the next season. But do we want to save up money for parts or... Vancouver in 2 weeks. Oh, come on. Seriously? Why do you want to be a hog? This is not a good sign. I might have to release Vosu at the end of his contract. If he keeps that resource hog thing... Jeez, hold on. Just quickly. Not a good sign for our team. I might get kicked out of the next season if this keeps up. Better mechanic reliability. Let's just go ahead. I can't cut his contract. I don't have the money for that. Just have to go ahead and drive off. Left. 1 more week before the Vancouver race. Not much going on besides that. Over. Currently 2nd place. Yeah, I'll go with that. 28 laps. 28. That's gonna be 2 stops then. I think. I don't think I can go for 14. We're currently... Oh, everything is spec, so that's gonna be close. Is Perez a... No. 3 more weeks until that fight with the mechanic calms down. Not exactly a good sign. Whoa, what the heck happened to her face? Was it because of the fight out with Stafford? Come on. But here's hoping. Going to lose some points here because Wosu is going to be a resource hog for the entirety of his career. Let's hope we can find a good driver next time. And then we'll replace him as soon as his contract ends. Ugh, why is it tilted like that? 13 of 13. Just say goodbye to whoever is going to be promoted. And hopefully we'll still have enough of a money box to keep us alive here. Time for practice. Feedback still needs some more. Oh. Ratios. I'm going to assume we're going to keep it here. Suspension is going to be a bit harder. Some more arrows, maybe, since there is a bit of cornering there. Okay, it's still ultra softs and softs. Let's keep them both at ultra soft then. Right, let's see if practice is going to be okay. I'm not exactly confident about this, but I'm still going with what we have. See how things go. I haven't seen this course at all, so this is going to be a first for us on the road. Doing the flying lap. Is it shorter than I thought? Oh, that's a bridge. Nice. Really cool seeing a bridge like that over water. A lot of hairpins, or small hairpins rather, and plenty of slow S-curves on the way out. How fast was that? Alright, clock's ticking. Let's see how fast we have to go through this road. Setup knowledge not going as fast as I want him to be. Might need a couple of tweaks here. Perfect gear ratios, gearing seems nice here, nice one. Bukalova getting ahead of Vosu on the timesheets, not exactly a good sign there. Esteva jumping ahead. Vosu drops to 5th, Bukalova drops to... oh no, he's dropping even faster. At least we got race trim level 1 up now. Downforce feels bang on, Arrow is feeling great. Well, if that's nice, why aren't your setup knowledge ratings going up faster then? We might have to switch out Bukalova after this. What's going on over there? Oh, whoops. Silvera and Tuinuna are showing some really strong running. Tuinuna really strong runnings with the timesheets there, but Marsh is having none of that, and she is now up there. Oh, good push up there for both of our drivers. They're currently at 1st and 2nd on the timesheets, but there's a good chance that we'll have to switch them out. Soften up the handling for Vosu. He's definitely gonna need that. Good exchange there. Where are we on the paddock? On the almost last one again. A little more downforce, maybe. A little more downforce, just to increase the reliability of our car. Hang on. Okay, Bukalova is currently at 1st, but she's going in after that stint. I wonder if her stats are going to be okay. Race trim is now at level 2. We've got 5 minutes left in practice. I wonder if that's going to be enough. Ooh, Ultrasoft's at level 2 as well. I haven't seen that in a while. But I guess since we're putting both our drivers in Ultrasofts, that means the setup knowledge for the tires is going to be faster. Still not getting fast enough. Oh, downforce and handling need work. But we have to soften up the handling a bit more. Something. Probably a little more aero, maybe? Let's see if things change out here now. Now we're starting Vosu's flying lap, 3.5 minutes to go. Aero setup is way better. Nice one. Okay, that's gonna help us. Racing form has gone down to 5, however. Not exactly a good sign. I make that 4.9. He's not exactly having a good time out here in Vancouver. Guess he's getting scared of all the moose. Handling problems. Why did she... oh, her tires are down to 4%, that's why. So, just about ready to switch. Now knowledge is level 3, perfect. Ultra softs are also at level 3. That's a sight I have not seen in a while. Handling is very poor. Excellent downforce, very poor on the understeer. So I guess we need to make it a balance point somewhere around that segment. We've only got 15 minutes left. I don't think Bukalova is going to be able to get anything out of that. Handling's okay. So a bit more understeer. go with this. And go with softs. Can she get up before the timer stops? I don't think she can. Well, she managed to get up, but I don't think she'll be able to do anything as we now end practice. Both of our drivers up top. She can probably get some feedback at least, so we can see if we need some fixing on her handling. Well, Sue did manage to get some points up, though. Handling's still poor. I'll have to change that. How's Bukalova going? Handling's great on her side, at least. There's something about the name Watson Industries. It has a beautiful name to it. It does. Nobody was expecting Watson Industries to perform like that in practice. Him. Bukalova's a girl, guys. Come on. I know she looks like a guy, but it's kind of disrespectful to call her him. Unless, whatever. Okay, here's the issue, right? Bukalova got all greens for Perez's car, but Vosu has issues with handling, and we can't really fix that yet. So I think it might be time to make it a bit more steering. Okay, aerodynamics still seem okay, but the fuel line. Put them up on high for both of their engine modes. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep them alive. Hornblatt is now dead last. I don't think he'll be able to make any pace-ups here. Going for a two-stop race because it's going to be risky. Oh! Who the hell ran wide? That was Schober. Schober ran really wide before exiting the first corner, and that puts her down. Fortunately, Sa took advantage of that, pushing both her and Perez down, and Perez is now down to 15th, with Vosu just behind her. Hornblatt goes down to second as Fani gets ahead of him just outside of the first corner. While Peklua takes over both Silveira and Chu, but Chu manages to get one over Griffin and Marsh. Marsh, meanwhile, gets one over Ganser and Lormore. W up on the back takes over a lead ahead of Ramsey, rounding up most of the upper half of this course. Now remember, it's going to be a two-stop race, so we're going to be stopping somewhere around lap 10. I can go for lap 7 and then lap 21. I think. We'll have to see if that's going to be changing. Oh, wow! That's Elsadot going in on the inner corner and almost giving away his brakes to get a two-spot lead, taking the spot ahead of both Perez and Vosu as we start lap 2. Perez gets her revenge, but at the cost of Vosu dropping some spots as well. Vosu is now at 18th. Perez fighting with Elsadot for the 15th place, losing it on that slow corner. Tires aren't really rolling hot enough, I'm afraid. I'll have to push those cars up a bit more just to heat up the tires efficiently. Perez goes down to 16th again. Couldn't get past Elsadot on that last run. Vosu now in the back. Where's Schober? Schober well behind, but she's pushing it hard and fast here just before we start lap 3. Bit of a traffic jam. Vosu getting caught in that one. Couldn't take advantage of the slowdown rather. Perez now in 15th, trying to get ahead of Elsadot, but couldn't just land it. Fortunately, Ramsey is well ahead of her, 3 car lengths away. Bosu down to 19th as both Vidal and Esteban are keeping him away from the front. 25 laps to go. We're starting lap 4. We're pretty low on tire wear, unfortunately. About to neutral down these roads just to avoid eating the tires a little too early. Probably have to stop at 10-11 then. Not much of a change up front. Fondi is now ahead. Fondi is still ahead. Hornblood and Silvera close behind. Takabayashi still in the spot to take over the top 3 as needed. Just 2.9 seconds behind the race leaders. We're starting to see some gaps form here in the back as Vosu has now lost much of his lead over Schober. Excuse me. Perez still having trouble getting past Ramsey. Can't get anything out of that slow corner or slow turn over the bridge. Also having trouble getting through the hairpins. Excuse me. Ooh, Vosu gets one over Vidal, but it's a very close lead, and I don't think Vidal will let that pass without any repercussions. Just as we start lap 6. Still no change for Perez. She's been 15th for the last 3 laps. Now El Sadat gets one over Vosu, keeping him in 18th here. Looks like the leaders are starting to be in the red. Uh-oh, Silvera has been told to let Hornblood... Oh, yeah. Has been told... Wait, no, it's Hornblood who's been told to let Silvera pass so they can get up in the standings. Not looking too hot at start lap 7. Looks like Vosu might... Oh, what? Vosu jumps up to 15th as Hornblood, Silvera, and Fondi go for a late for early pit lane stop here. So we got 40% on Perez and 38% on Vosu. If we can keep the temperatures, or we can keep the tire temperatures up until at least lap 10, we can switch out tires then. Oh, El Sadat cut a corner there. That might be a penalty. The race administrators are looking into it now. Chu goes for a pit, down to 18% on his tires. Now we're starting lap 8 with Perez at 11th and Vosu at 15th. Gonna drop to 3rd at this rate, but that's gonna be okay because that's on target for us. But we could probably go up to at least 2nd if we do our numbers right. Starting to see some struggle with tire wear now. Gotta push it up a bit. About to switch up some numbers maybe. As we now approach lap 9. We're now starting lap 9. I'm still seeing some switch ups. Whoa, a bit of a traffic stop here. Esteban, Vidal, and El Sadat all trying to get 11th. Oh, Perez is now starting to look down on speed. We have to switch down to softs. Nothing we can change? Nope, nothing. Let's go and switch out here. Vosu could probably run for another lap. We'll switch her out. Well, we'll switch him out once we finish this lap here. Letting Perez go through. We'll go for softs for the endurance, and then we'll switch out to speed towards the end of the race. I need to change fuel. It's taking a while to get out of the pit lane here. Perez goes out, but she's down to 16th. See if Bosu can actually keep things up for the car here, as both of the Dragon Racing drivers get ahead of him since he's down to 4th. He's now down to 13th place, just as we start lap 11. And he goes down to 14th just before entering the pit lane. There goes Perez. She is now 14th. Bosu has gone down to 20th. Perez almost got through, but she has gone down to 16th, or rather 15th, thanks to Gansler getting ahead of her. But Gansler seems to be on block mode now. Bosu's trying to push ahead here. Can they take advantage of anybody in the pit lane? No, they cannot. Perez gets caught in the traffic jam. Couldn't get a lead out on anybody who was still sitting in the pit stop before lap 12 started. Oh, she gets a jump up over Lopeclua though. Can she get past Gansler, who's now 5 car lengths away from her? What the heck is that? Was it? Lormore is now ahead after Ramsey, Tianuna, and Sa have jumped down. That's Perez coming ahead here. She's now at 12th. She's at 12th, taking advantage of some of the guys who have switched out on the pit lanes here. Bosu still up in the back, not looking too hot for our Estonian driver, as he's really struggling to take advantage of the speed here. Perez having trouble keeping 12th. Both Ramsey and Gansler are in slowdown mode, keeping everybody else in the back from taking advantage of the front lines. But Lormore, Vidal, and Esteban might be in. Yep, they're all lining up for a pit change. So it's 10 and then 20. Ramsey still blocking Perez. Bosu still in the back. Perez jumps up to 10th as Lormore and Vidal are in the pit lane. Bosu couldn't take advantage of that, and he's only at 19th with Lormore still ahead of him. Perez just about ready to lose her 10th spot as Lopeclua jumps closer and closer to her. And there she goes, going down to 11th after that slow chicane just before the home corner at the start of lap 15. Takabayashi is now ahead, but he's not going to hold on to that lead for long. Bosu goes up to 18th as Esteban jumps for a pit change. Question is, can we get back into it? Still a lot of racing to go, but we're seeing a lot of really bad changes here. 57% for Perez, 70% for Bosu. Perez keeping Sa away as much as possible. It's tough going as we start lap 16, and Sa is just about ready to toss Perez off to the side, getting ever closer as at each corner here. Jumped over to 9th. Wait, what? What happened? Takabayashi? No, it's Takabayashi after a pit change. Okay, so that's what happened. Takabayashi was leader for at least a lap, is now down to 19th. Vidal, who was rolling up heavy as well, is now down to 20th. Bosu has jumped up to 17th thanks to that, but he still needs to work to get back up on the upper half. Might see some changes here. Again, because we're seeing Hornblood and Fondi in the red. Yep, there goes Hornblood in the pit lane, as well as Gansler, with Fondi in the back there. Now Perez is up to 6th. Bosu? Can Bosu take advantage of this situation? Nope, he's still pretty low at 13th. Starting to see some tire temperature boosts. Definitely need to increase the heat on the tires there. push the tires a bit more for Vosu. Perez will definitely need to change things up around lap 20, and we'll switch her down and switch her up to ultras after. Who's that ahead of her? That's Love Baklua, and she's in back up mode for some reason. Starting to see some changes in the fuel lines as well, as we're now in lap 18th. More and more is keeping Vosu up, or keeping Vosu from getting into the top 10. Perez will definitely have to switch out around sometime soon. Oh, she's gonna lose her fourth spot to Sa, who's sneaking just behind her. And she concedes fourth place at the home corner. Oh, we're seeing some changes in pit crew lanes, though. Still pretty decent as far as things are concerned. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a fight up here up front. Perez is now in the top 3, but she's not exactly doing well as far as tire endurance is concerned. We'll have to change her out sooner or later. Vosu can hold on for a bit more, thankfully, but everybody else seems to be changing out right now as well. What happens if we switch her out to Ultras? Well, we can probably keep her in Ultra. We can probably, no, 7-9. Let's run her for at least another lap. Get some gaps ahead of those who are currently changing out, and then we'll switch her out to Ultras after lap 20. Hopefully she can survive that run. Her fuel is a bit on the low side, though, so that's going to be a problem. Now let's go for soft still. Just a bit of fuel. Parts condition. Anything I can fix that doesn't add up that much? Well, apart from the front wing. How's Vosu going? Vosu's a bit low on fuel. He will need to pit soon, even though his tires are pretty okay. Now Perez will concede her third spot finish, or third spot, as she's changing tires and getting some fuel out as well. We have no choice but to send Vosu up to refuel here. Parts conditions, can't fix any. Oh, can't fix the front part. Just to be on the safe side, let's send him out there soon. Gonna have to slow him down a bit, however. Perez is now down in 15th place as she's trying to get back into the middle. We've only got 8 laps to go, and I don't think she'll be okay, though. Lampaklua, and he's got ultras up. So it's going to be way faster here. 7 laps to go. Perez is now down to 16th. Now Vosu is at 19th. Make that 20. Oh, yeah, he's 19th. Schober gets ahead of him. How many laps do we have left? We still have 6 laps to go. We'll have to push up a bit more. I don't think anybody's going to be changing out unless Takabayashi gets unlucky. 6 laps remaining. Vosu will have to probably concede here. Concede a lot. Oh, dearie me, that's not a good sign. We're going to lose it. I don't want to lose it here. Perez needs to work her way up here if she wants to get back up. Because if we lose points here, we're definitely going to get knocked out at the start of lap 5. Ooh, okay, keep it. We might have to restart the Vancouver leg because I definitely did not expect things to go this bad around this part. Here's praying we don't actually drop below third. Come on, guys. How many more laps are we looking at here? 4 laps to go. Yeah, I can't really put Vosu up a little too much. Vosu gets over Fandi, and he is now at 17th. We need to get the Garuda drivers out. We're gonna drop the third at this rate. 3 laps to go. Still a bit of pushing we can do here. I think we can push the wheels up. At least for Vosu, who's now at 16th. Takabayashi is back down for some reason. Chu did a late switch up with his tires. I question the wisdom of that, to be honest. Oh, Fandi even goes for a switch out. Very, very late switch out because of some poor timing from the early runs. Looks like Perez might have to lose her spot here as Lormore is sneaking on her back. Esteban Vidal and Marsh up front. Trying to push the tires a bit more as we're now in the last 2 laps. Perez needs to work her magic up here if she wants to stay in the drive lane. Ooh, good overtake for Vosu there. But that's not enough to get her past everything, and Perez is now behind Gansler. Vosu up to 14th. El Sadat will get one over Vosu. We still got 1 last lap to go, I think. Final lap. Can they get this through? Vosu, Perez gets up over Lormore, but it's not going to be easy. Lormore gets one over Perez again. Bilyu seems to be having some penalties because of cutting a corner, and Vidal is now out of fuel. That's not a good sign for Vidal. Yeah, he's getting left behind pretty badly here. Perez having a hard time cutting through. Vosu, having been blocked by Schober, is going to have a hard time getting through as well. Push the tires up to max. A bit of a blocking there. Perez couldn't really take advantage of the last lane. Trying to push up to the limit. Ooh! Almost got an overtake. Oh, Perez is jumping up to 7. Finishing the race with a sudden overtake at the last second there. And despite all that's happened, we managed to keep our objective of avoiding a promotion and keeping our second spot run up over there, thankfully. It was a bit of a nail-biter here in Vancouver, but nonetheless, we got our objectives right on cue. Too bad we couldn't get the Drivers' Championship, but I'll take what I can get. What time is it? I think we still have enough time to set up for next season, at least. Just have to review what we're gonna get. There were several cut corners here, which may affect the time on some of the other drivers. Both Elstad and Bilyu suffered time penalties because of those cut corners, and they are now lower in the rankings than they are supposed to be. We actually got a 6th, and Vosu got a 10th from that. We did miss the sponsor objective, though, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for our money. Nonetheless, Vosu is still in 3rd. Vidal, because of the fuel issues, went and threw it. He's now in 2nd. Esteva once again gets the Drivers' Championship. And surprisingly, because of that better performance, Perez jumps up to 6th. We got our 2nd. So, he's already married, pal. You don't want to mess with his wife. Fortunately, we couldn't get higher in the Driver Championship, but at the very least, we still managed to stay in the current championship, which means we will have enough money to invest into our motor car. road car factory, which unfortunately is going to take a year to build. Chairman's going down to 72. At least we still have some money out. How's it going over in Dubai? Looks like Steinman gets the win here as Lipinen takes one over his Parisi once again, but not much to celebrate at the last race as neither Steinman nor Scuderia Rossini managed to score a podium run in the last leg as Windsor and Panther share the limelight. Nonetheless, though, Steinman is well ahead of anybody behind them, and Scuderia Rossini drops even lower to third, mostly because of Panther's accelerating performance in this run. Meanwhile, in the Asia Pacific Super Cup, finishing up at Tondela, we have Eastwood Motorsports' Laura Ingledew scoring pole, followed by, in a rare sight, that's Parker getting one of her few high positions this season, scoring second, and then there's Freya Larson rounding up the top three for Kruger Motorsport. Nonetheless, though, even with the poor performance from Kruger, they still managed to keep Thornton away from them, and Kruger now wins the Asia Pacific Super Cup for the 2024 season. Firebird is nowhere near them, unfortunately. They're way below at 8th. Yep, there they go. Stava with another championship win. Vexala getting promoted by the looks of it. Let's see how it goes. Let's set up our cars to have the illegal parts now. Our parts. Trying to fit the illegal parts here. Anything else? Roll spec parts. Switch them out here now. This one. Oh, it's on its bonuses. I see. And we'll save the rest of the money bags for next season's investments. I hope we have enough money to at least build up on the road car factory. But if things have to go up, we definitely need to switch or focus on improving the parts first, so we can get different. We can get better numbers on the parts reliability. 37% drop for Perez, 27 for Bosu. Not too bad. Okay, what's on the interview list? We're very happy with our current drivers, really. Well, not really. Mistake-free weekend. We actually broke our records because we just switched out tires. Do I want to keep Woodbridge? I feel like I can actually replace him. How about we scout for some mechanics? There's nobody I can work with here. And Adam Kalile, while pretty good on parts fixes and pit stops, is a bit of a problem with reliability. How about, well, hang on. Let's compare. He only has two mechanics well, that's two mechanics bonuses. But what I need to know is if he'll be able to. He has better pit stops. His performance is slightly lower. His chemistry means that there's not much growth there, but he's very reliable. He can fix parts faster, and well, concentration is only slow. I can. I wonder if they'll. Okay, they're interested. On who else? Samantha could probably. Okay, let's save it here for the time being. See if we can actually, uh, if we need to switch out mechanics for both of them, we can probably go back to here if we can't get anything. Or wait, hang on. Save as mechanic backup, just in case. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Okay. How many staffers can we scout? I could probably. Where's that guy? He was around here somewhere. Okay. Kalal has better pit stops, so that's gonna help us. But I'll box you up a bit. Down here we have Amelia Vroom. A little too on the nose there. She's got good reliability and performance, but her chemistry is a bit low. Semedo. Jessica Legg has good. Uh, she's got a good growth for her. She's pretty young, and there's still a lot of potential for her, but her bonuses are super overtake. Kind of risky. And her pit stops are awful. Her concentration is great. Her reliability is also pretty great. She just can't fix parts fast enough. Anybody else? She seems to be the only really good mechanic here. Anybody up here we can use? No. All right, let's go back here just in case. Let the contracts run out, and then see if there's. If I have to go back here. Okay, let's see the car repairs. Keep the money up since we don't really need to do anything because the next part is going to be replaced. I'm going to keep Charlotte on, but I might have to switch her out soon. If her contract expires and she wants to retire, we'll have to do something about that. What's on the news? Azad Rahman from Van Dort has retired. Alice Klein from Risotto Corsa is all retiring. Here's the money we got. We got $13 million. Not a lot there. Darcy White from ZRT Motorsport gets Manager of the Year, as expected. Perez gets Driver of the Season. Now that's a new one. Sadia Suri from Lucatelli has retired, and so is Bo Chong Lin. Wait, how old is our driver? Watson 34. That's not good. Uh, wait, let me check. Okay, not too worried about retiring just yet. She can still go on. She's probably a bit low on the age there. But the problem is our mechanics and our drivers are about to go. Still waiting for some news on that. Okay. Nothing got approved. Rather disappointing, I have to say. I like change. Nothing got approved last year. Who got promoted? Okay, Kruger is now in the World Motorsport Championship with Risotto Corsa going down to Asia Pacific Super Cup. Bexala goes up with Ozu going back to European racing. That's going to be a good sign for us. Let's hope we can... Oh, no. See the news. Vulcan switch out to Dragon Race Team China. And Millie Davis signs up with Octane Racing. Fraser Sutherland switches up with Octane. Luke Savage, Rivadero, Bunker, and Reeves. No slots available for that. Ambrosia up front. We have bonus span with 700. Yeah, okay, we'll take it. Where's my scouting hub mechanics? Please tell me they did not pick up the one I wanted. They haven't. Okay. Next race in 2 weeks. We'll just wait until the... are they still not retiring? Contract remaining 1 month. As long as they don't change people, or they don't snap up the people we want, we'll be okay. Sponsor Oliver, I got you. We'll have to go back, though, because I feel like we need to switch out our mechanics now. They're definitely going to snap up our own mechanic here. Sponsorship deal. You can go back to Transantarctic, join up Ishikawa Malt Whiskey, or sign up with Northern Harbor. Second of above. First. Okay, let's go with this one. Did a risky jump over there. We want to design next year's car now? Schober is leaving Locatelli for... Wait. She's... Well, she doesn't have any pay driver bonuses, though. Kind of a shame that she only did 1 season. They only got $4 million for the parts boost. Let me double check my notes again. Next year's... I am so not confident that they will not snatch up my mechanics here. So let's go with base stat modifier +5 for this one. Base stat modifier and improvability, so that's 5 million. Fuel line. Going for improvability, which unfortunately is this pretty cheap. Go with the material supplier. So it's either somebody who has good weak tire wear and weak tire heating, or we can go with Carbolon, which is reduced tire wear, but very weak tire heating. So I'll go with weak and weak. A balanced setup for this. just above very weak, because I don't think XCT, despite the fact that XCT alloys will help us save some money, they won't help us stay durable for most of the season. So, and very likely we'll have to change things here. Okay, let me just save this as a separate industry. Come on, come on. Okay, now it's brakes. What does brakes do? So let's go with the most expensive. Wait, no, tire heating? So let's go with weak tire wear. The most expensive, unfortunately. It's a little bit cheaper now compared to last season, so I think that's going to be helpful. There's a bit more improvability, so hopefully that's going to be helpful. That on the gear package. That cost us well over 12 million. Ugh. See if they don't end the contract with our mechanics. Okay. Please tell me they did not pick up the mechanic I want. Please. They didn't. Okay, let's approach him now. I want a better pit crew, so I'm going to start negotiations with him. Wages are fairly important to him, so I think we'll have to go 16K per race. In 2024, my signing fee. Bonus size is quite important. And now, who else do we want? Because we got a repairman here. I want somebody who can... I guess we can go with Jessica Legs, and she can go for concentration and reliability. Can we approach her? Okay, she's interested. Wages are important to her as well. That's going to be a problem. Medium contract, nice signing fee. Why do they always want these? Besides, client block. Get me up to first, and I'll give you as much as you want. It's up on the mail. New lead designer, Bisakuhi. Elsadot switches over to Archer BMR. He's been jumping all around for the past 2 seasons. Ziu Mok. No, that's a rig. Looks like they had a lot of switching around in Archer. Antofik joins Lucatelli. Mazzoncini joins Dragon Race Team in place of Fandi, who's already retired. Ken Obi joins Ozumiller Team. Ollie Clark Smith goes for Garuda. Yep. Sorry, guys. I know you're really great, but I need better pit crews. I'm gonna have to hope that they're gonna be okay for the next run. Expensive. Press HQ visit. Okay, Vosu can handle the morale, right? That's his driver stat. He's currently at 100% morale, so I think I'll allow this. Now that contract proposal, please tell me your renegotiation. Nicola Stromby. Well, he's already retiring at the end of the season. Okay, what does she want? Last chance. Okay, she wants a big bonus. Okay, get it at first. A better signing fee, $36. Wages. Okay, go up to second max. Now go for max if she wants that. Meanwhile, anything else? Renegotiation. Not a look. Not a good look for him. Oh, he wants a higher fee. Okay, fine. Second and above. Max it out if that's what he wants. Just a bit more. Please tell me they're signing. That's gonna eat up a lot of the money. Okay, where do you want him? I need him to replace, okay. Callier. Let's see if this is going to be helpful for the long run. Alright. Leg is also joining up. Gonna put you with Samarenko. Yeah. Ultrasoft and Super Overtake mode. We won't really need to worry about most of the parts as long as as long as he can actually, I mean, Vosu can actually roll things up on his side of things, so we're pretty much okay. But what we really need is to get Callier up with the pit crew management. Yeah, I'm putting you in charge since you're at 18th. That's gonna help us get better crews. I think we are pretty much okay, since both of the mechanics I want are currently with us. Now the question is how much they're gonna cost, or how much they're gonna affect the costs for our drive, for our day-to-day racing. Oh, Ines Santa Ana went with Rosetta Corsa. See those dilemmas, shall we? Now leave it. It's gonna set up this car. Now, unfortunately, we can't get an upgrade or new parts on the car until we're done with the chassis, which is gonna take a while. Not enough money for funding a new a new motor car factory, so I don't think we're gonna get it this season. Here's hoping we can get an early lead in the parts, at least. Okay, what's this one? Livery time already? Oh, increased marketing, nice. Donatella Mama. Oh, from Chiffre, nice. Bro, what kind of name is that? What are these stereotypical names? This man, this brutal, stunning edifice of a man must come home to Mama. Dang it. An amazing time meeting Mama. She said that as a racer, I'm dangerous and edgy. Pretty much, he's at risk of crashing every single race, and I can sell almost anything, even toasters. How this new career path will affect lawsuit driving ability remains to be seen. At least that's going to be helping us. Apparently, my walk is interesting. Not bad. Hang on. Sorry about that. Just had to check something real quick. Now, where were we? Okay. Delivery time. Change that a bit. Where's my notepad? I'm gonna need that. Primary switching around. Secondary color should stay like that. Primary color will be this one. Switch them around a bit. Trim's gonna be black. Wait, hang on. Maybe we should switch the secondary colors. Add. And get Watson's colors out properly. But let's split around a bit. Turn that into the tertiary color. Make that the trim color, maybe. And primary color, this one. Okay, maybe not. Make that the trim color. Tertiary will be black. Headpiece rolling now. Base liveries. Go with this, I suppose. Bit retro in the look. Go with that. There goes Watson Industries again. Let's see if things start to get cracking. Maybe. No, I still cannot fix things. Dang it. Chassis finish date February 3. What's on the calendar? Currently February 16th. Oh, it's March 2. Okay. So it's in half a month. Big supplier breakthrough again. Oh no. Bukalova gets a boost. Performance 10 during the race, but that's for 3 weeks. That's not gonna help. Nope, too expensive. I don't think we're gonna afford that right now. Pre-season testing. Scuderia Rossini's Bergman. I think that's the reserve driver. It's time for pre-testing. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Let's hope we don't suffer anything from here. I think I see an error with us. Oh, no problem so far. But Perez needs some more power up there. No issue. Engine not delivering full power. And some overheating as well. That's a bit of a work. At least the morale drop wasn't too high. A Dragon Race team gets a boost up over there. I'm going to stick up to... No, I'm going to drop down to 4th. I don't think we can do 2nd at the rate things are going. Much as I'd like to go for another run. What do we want? Where's the calendar? That's for the Black Sea run. We're going to... Gonna need better engines. It's in 11 days. Car parts. Who's that? Financial? No, that's loyalty because we got new guys. Oh wait, why did I... Ah, that was stupid. I forgot to set up a save. Well, whatever. I have to go with this. I'm going to it. I'm expecting the chairman to be angry here. 2 days after the race. Guess we can't use that. We'll have to do something about the next race instead, which will be Munich again, which is gonna need low-speed corners. So we're going to work on the low-speed corners first. Low-speed corner boost will be a bit. Oh wait, we have another spot. Nope, no. Build that up again. Fortunately, we set up for 4th. Our parts fitting. How? Oh, we need to improve stuff. Reliability. Ugh. Prepared for as much as we can. Staff impact. Chief mechanic impact. Staff on repairs here. Parts fixes 9. Reliability and concentration. Our part fixes are pretty slow. I'm not feeling too confident about the 2025 season now, but still pretty much in a good spot, I suppose. We'll just have to pray that nothing goes wrong and that the reliability of our key parts will at least go up to probably something like 60 or 70%. Hopefully we can get it at least just 80% on the fixes before the race starts, because that's what we need. Currently our parts are the best on the grid, so that's going to help us, but we need these improvability levels higher. What happens if we focus on she can do performance boosts just where I need them, but the reliability will go down instead, so let's not do that for her. Let's do that for the next parts to come out. I might need a new designer soon. How many more months do we have with our... Oh, yeah, we need new drivers as well, I think. Some of these guys are still unsigned, so if we get something out of that, we might be able to see something. Finances, not exactly looking good. Cost per race is pretty low still, thankfully, so I think we can manage here somehow. The question is, can we keep these up? Okay, slot 5. Ambrosia gets a bonus of 700,000, but we need to get 6 or above. Trez Antarctic has a higher bonus pool, but we need to get 2nd, and Luxina has a pretty low one. We just need to get 12th. Thankfully, we have Hypertech for 5 more races. Sep Oil does not have any fixed payment. Dang it. They've only got fixed payment. No Now, no fixed pay, they only got upfront. That's what I was talking about. 7 more races of them, though. It's gonna be a while. Slot to Hablar Hablar, 200,000. 8 races, not too bad. I think that's going to be enough for the time being. We just need to. Engines are pretty low. We're just gonna have to power through. We also have to upgrade our low-speed corners, get an overall boost to our car performance. For the time being, though, I think that is a good time as any to call it in for the night. Thank you so much for dropping by. It was a bit of a rough patch towards the end of the 2024 season, but nonetheless, we did manage to get our season target, and that's going to help us get enough money to build up the much needed road car factory in probably a season or two. Hopefully, we can actually get that done so we can be a bit more confident in getting up in the ranks for what do you call it? Getting up in the ranks for the next season. I could probably go up to the Asia Pacific Super Cup if I know that I have a better, uh, more money helping me out. That's not going to be in a couple of days, though. We still have a lot of other games to worry about, and I could probably be focusing on getting some drawings as well. For the time being, though, if you got any complaints or live reactions about our stream tonight, please do not hesitate to drop me a line on my Twitter or my Pixel. If you've got a hankering for the older Motorsport Manager streams that have already expired here on Twitch, or you just want to check the other VODs that have already expired here as well, please do not check the VOD archive linked on the About tab of my profile page, or search it up on YouTube, twitch.tv/lurk@work. Oh, not twitch.tv/lurk. Just search for Lurk at Work on YouTube. Pretty much the same spelling. Speaking of which, if you're currently watching the VOD, thanks for dropping by. I know it was a bit too long and it was a bit of a rough run. Hopefully next time it'll be much more productive. And also do hope that you would check the live streams once in a while. I'd really love to talk to you. Know what you think would be better for streaming here, based on your current level of entertainment. Anywho, where was I? Oh yeah, if you got a friend who might be interested in the stuff I stream, or who just wants to complain about PNG streamers in general, please, I really grateful if you can share my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/lurk@work. That's all from me for now. Tomorrow it's going to be a break day, as is the usual. Starting the weekend with a bit of a rest up so that I don't go crazy for going all the way out with streaming. So that might change in the future. We'll just have to see. Anywho, that's all from me for now. Lurk at Work is now RTB. If you're still in the mood, though, I could send you over to a friend who's currently streaming. What is it? She's currently streaming Morta. I think this is a ghost game. No, it's not exactly a horror game. It's more like a fantasy adventure game by the looks of it. So if you're in the mood for some fantasy FPS, that's the place to be. So I'll get your raid lines ready for that. As for me, though, Lurk at Work is now RTB. I'll see you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Hopefully, you're gonna get a bit more a bit more relaxation time tomorrow since I won't be here. Thanks again for watching. Stand by to be rated. Where? Oh yeah, there you are. Yeah. Good night, everybody.